Hello lovely bookworms, I'm Esmay from Paradise with Pages on Instagram and welcome to a new video. Today I'll be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. That's a mouthful. I looked at the questions and some of them I left out and I sort of compiled my own list, so without further ado, let's get into it. I got my phone here with the questions, and the first question is the best book you've read so far in 2018. Let me think on that. I think my favorite book this year, from the top of my head, is Furyborn by Claire Legrand. I finished this one yesterday, so it's the newest in my mind, and I absolutely love this book. It was action-packed, the characters are amazing, the two female protagonists that you have in here, they're so well written, they're so badass. I really love this idea of one good queen and one bad queen. I really love this book, and I think this one is my favorite so far. Another really big favorite that I've read this year is Here at the Fall by Elwyn Hamilton. That one was just so incredible. I really loved that book, and I read it way back, but it was so good. It was so good. Another few books that I really loved were Stalking Jack the Ripper and Hunting Prince Dracula. They're among my favorites as well. And two others that I really loved was The Heart of Betrayal and The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson. All these books that I've mentioned were 5 stars for me, so yes, there's a lot of good books. You cannot let me have just one. I need to pick more. So those are my favorite books so far in 2018. Then the best sequel you've read so far in 2018. The favorite sequel that I read this year is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. I absolutely love this book and gave it 5 stars. It was amazing. A new release that you haven't read yet but you want to. For this one, I'm gonna have to say Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir. I will read that one this month, I hope. I love the first two. Don't know why I still haven't read it. Maybe because I'm scared. Because I see you, Sabaa. You always do this. So, yeah, that one. The most anticipated read for the second half of the year. Muse of Nightmares. Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I am so excited to finally read that book. It's just, I need it in my hands right now. I need it now. So, yes. Another book that I'm really excited about for the next half year is All the Wandering Lights by Heather Fawcett. I read Even the Darkest Stars this year as well, and it was brilliant. I really loved it, so I'm excited to read the second book. The next question is the biggest disappointment. I think my biggest disappointment for this year was Showstopper by Haley Barker. The writing style was so not for me that I really didn't like it, so I DNF'd it like 25% in. I couldn't get through it. I just really didn't like it. Another big disappointment for me is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. I really like the premise of it. I love the cover, but I just didn't like it. I couldn't get into the story. I just didn't like the protagonist. She was just very annoying to me. The stories it didn't grip me. All these characters, I just didn't like them, so I DNF'd it at 25% as well. Then, the biggest surprise of this year. I think the biggest surprise for me this year was Even the Darkest Stars by Heather Fawcett. I had expected to like it. However, I did not expect to love it as much as I did. It was just so good. The plot was very well written. Some things, of course, you could see coming, but it was just so well done, and I really love the characters. I really love what they did with the plot twists, and the writing itself was just so well paced that it just kept you reading, and it flew right by, and I just loved it. Then another book that really surprised me this year was The Forbidden Wish, and I didn't expect to like it so much. It's a standalone, which is basically sort of a genie retelling, Aladdin retelling, but the genie in this story is female, and the story is a little bit different. I expected to like it. I just didn't expect to love it as much as I did. I read it in one sitting, I remember this, because I was in Groningen and didn't move until I finished it. and it was really good. I actually want to do a video about my favorite standalones because I've been reading quite a few of them lately, and some of them really piqued my interest and some of them were not as good, so I want to make a video about standalones that I love and I don't love as much. Alright, then new favorite author. That is either new to writing or someone that I didn't know too much about or hadn't read anything of yet. And I think one of them is Mary E. Pearson. I loved The Kiss of Deception, cannot wait to see what else she will do, and she's definitely one of my favorites as of now, after I read the trilogy. Then a new fictional crush. I think I completely fell in love with Rafe and Caden from The Kiss of Deception once again. They're my babies. I really, really love them. I really fell in love with Ilarion from City of Bastards. This is the second book in the Royal Bastards trilogy, series, something like that, by Andrew Swartz. And Ilarion is also really, really my baby. From Furyborn once again, I really love Riel. My newest favorite character. This is sort of the same as the previous question. I think my newest favorite character is Riel at the moment. Who else I really love? Well, I really love Leah from The Kiss of Deception, but I love everybody from The Kiss of Deception, so, you know, that's problematic. I think those are my favorite characters at the moment, or like new favorites. I have my all-time favorites, of course, but they're my new favorites. A book that made you cry. The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson. I sobbed my eyes out when I was reading this book. It was just, I cried so hard. It was just so sad. And I loved it though. It was absolutely brilliant. It was absolutely amazing. I loved it, I loved it, I loved it. But yes, I sobbed my eyes out. Another book that really made me cry was Smoke in the Sun by Renée Ahdieh. Renée Ahdieh is one of my all-time favorite authors. She wrote my favorite duology, The Wrath and the Dawn. And it's just, Smoke in the Sun really made me cry. It was so sad. A book that made you happy. A book that made me happy. All books make me happy. Well, if they're good. I think the book that made me happy most is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. It really made me laugh. I loved the magic in here. I loved the humor in here. It was just really good. The most beautiful book you've bought or received. For this question, I will talk about the covers. The most beautiful book that I own right now is one that I received from Femke for my birthday, and that is this edition of Strange Dreamer. I absolutely love Strange Dreamer. We all know this. And it's just, I really, really, really love this book. And then the last question, what books do I need to read by the end of the year? One book that I want to read by the end of the year is Muse of Nightmares. Then a series that I want to read is Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. There's a lot of books that I want to read by the end of the year. So for example, I also want to read the Arrow Awaken series by Elise Kova, Society of Wishes by Elise Kova. I think that is all for this video. Please just like our video, comment something nice, maybe about your favorite books or something that disappointed you. You can subscribe, it's all free. It's somewhere down here, this side or that side, I don't know. And then I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys the next time. Bye!